Lions of Kandahar. Lions of Kandahar. You know who the Lions of Kandahar are? In the book by Rusty Bradley and Kevin Maurer, the Lions of Kandahar are a combined team of Green Beret Special Forces and the Afghan National Army, who in this book do an end around to catch the squirters coming out of a valley that the mechanized Canadian troops are going to push through, and they're going to kind of seal in the enemy and catch the squirters coming out of the valley. And instead, they go and they get into their position and maybe have a little skirmish getting there. And Rusty Bradley sees this elevated position on the battlefield and says he wants to go and take it. And finally gets permission to go and take Spur One Guard. They fight up this hill, and as they get into position on the hill, it becomes clear the Taliban says, no, we can't give up that hill. And so, according to the book, that becomes the center of Operation Medusa, the largest operation in Afghanistan, or certainly in that time period. They become the focus and Spur One Guard and get thousands of troops sent at them. It's interesting to see danger close called for in the field, where the air support does not want to drop ordnance that close to the bad guys, to the good guys, and Rusty has to give his initials to get permission to say, hey, we understand that we're putting our guys in danger as well, but in order to accomplish the mission, he needed ordnance dropped that close. And so it was interesting to see the inroads toward counterinsurgency, where they were warned about there being mines on the hill, and they did eventually set off a mine, I believe, and that was where there was a medal issued for Jude in helping soldiers that were hurt in that. It's interesting to see a supply drop carried out in the desert. I couldn't stop listening. This is to me like the operator, the man who shot bin Laden. This was a highly skilled and trained unit that is trained over and over and over again in their expertise, and this is them putting it into use, what they've trained for. And so couldn't stop listening. Really wanted to work through the book over 8 hours. I think I did listen to it on 1.1 speed. But certainly nothing to do with the content, and I enjoyed the narrator. I just happened to accidentally listen to it a little bit faster, but was able to keep up with it at that. The forgiveness rather than permission. Forgiveness rather than permission. I saw an example of how that works out in battle, where Baldock is in Kandahar. He's in the TOC, the operations center, the command center, and he's getting calls from his superiors, and they stall the superiors, and what has happened is Baldock has gone out to the field. Baldock goes to Spur One Guard and actually relieves men of guard duty so they can rest with another superior. And I like this example of Major Rusty Bradley wanting to be in the first vehicle and preferring to risk his life than his men's life. And that example of service that comes from Baldock and going to the field and taking a night watch, and forgiveness rather than permission, where he knew that his superiors weren't going to let him go to Spur One Guard, weren't going to let him go to the battlefield, and so he just avoided talking to them until he could get there. And powerful book, definitely something that kept my attention, and something I'm very glad that Rusty recorded for us and wrote, and you won't regret it. If you're somebody like me, you'll enjoy the book too.